the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our taste test and review of The Flight of Bushmills. I am, yes, the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, the Michael Jordan of spirits podcasting himself, Phil KOE, joined by my indomitable broadcast partner,
the non-coppa friendly Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe. Here we go. One of my personal go-to brands of Irish whiskey, Bushmills. This is the standard on which I started with. Bushmill, white label, triple distilled Irish whiskey. It is a pretty standard, accepted mid-shelf Irish you're going to see in most bars that are going to carry a slightly wider variety of Irish. The Black Bush, this one's going to be a little more oaky, as the black label would suggest. And my personal favorite, the Red Bush. Love this one. It is my personal favorite of the three. I have had all three multiple times. I'm excited to get Phil's take on these.
Never had them.
Personally, I have both of these on my shelf right now.
But this is another chapter in our deep dive omnibus into Irish whiskeys. So without further ado, let's start off with Bushmills White Irish Whiskey, triple distilled, smooth and mellow, the old Bushmills Distillery Co. So let's see here.
You don't need to go too crazy with that. We got 3 to do.
Yep, we got a flight, so. And not like the one that we had to get back and forth from Houston.
No, slightly different.
So let's see how it hits the nose, folks, for Bushmills White. A little smoother than I thought. A lot smoother than the Reputation.
You haven't tasted it yet. It just smells like a familiar Irish that is always there when you need a warm, comforting drink.
Now, I'm not saying this in a bad sense, but I am getting like it's a mix of a Canadian sweet and like a Jack Daniel's solvent smell. Okay. Am I off on that at all?
No, I can see why you'd say that. Yeah, it is a very faint sweetness. It's there, though. It's pretty well overtaken by the standard Irish whiskey smell, though.
Well, Ooh. Smooth.
It is smooth. The harshness is there. It doesn't take a minute to hit your tongue. It's just there, and it lingers a bit. But the harshness is definitely not overbearing. The splash of water really opens this up. If you drink this neat, and you just normally drink it neat, I definitely recommend the splash of water. Open it up.
I don't really recommend drinking any whiskey neat. It needs just a splash of water to open up the aromas and to make it a little more accessible to the palate. So I could definitely see why this is considered kind of their base offering. Mm-hmm. It's aged for 3 years.
Yep. Minimum of 3, yes.
Like
comparing this,
I know this is going to seem kind of strange, but like when I'm getting to the nose, there's just not a lot of there.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
like it's a pretty, very base.
Yep. Plain smelling.
If you're a Crown Royal lover, you'll like Bushmills White.
Okay, that's fair.
So on that note, T, bottoms up.
A harsh honey. Yeah. And again, hate the word honey, but it's there. It's there.
If the shoe fits there. So, on a scale of Irish whiskeys, 1 to 5 stars.
Let's see. So, my go-to bottle is regular Jameson. And if that's not available, I get this. So, Durable bottles as well.
Yeah.
The square shape really helps with that.
Yep.
On Irish, huh?
Yep, Irish whiskey.
Okay. I give this a 3.25.
3.25. I'm going to be a little harsher and give it a 3.
Okay.
It's a decent Irish whiskey, but that's just what it is.
It's
It's
your
a
base.
decent Irish whiskey.
Now, yeah, when you compare this to like a Jameson, you can see why there is a distinct distaste for one and preference for the other, depending on what your palate likes.
Yep. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I can definitely see because they're so vastly different.
Yes.
Jameson and Bushmills, I can see why there's kind of a friendly rivalry between these two distilleries.
Sure, let's say friendly.
Yeah, let's say that. But so brown spirits.
As far as a brown spirit, I think it's good 3.
Yeah. It's between a 2.75 and a 3.25, so I think 3 is just about the right place to put that. Top, bottom, or middle shelf?
This is a middle for me. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna hate me, but this is depending on which one has more room between my middle and bottom shelf.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna definitively put it on my bottom shelf, but if there's too much space being taken in the middle, this one would go to the bottom, not the top.
Okay.
So understandable one from my perspective. Now this one, Bushmills Black.
Yes.
It's
been a while since I've had this one, so I am eager to give it another
try. I'm gonna
try.
guess this is similar to the Jameson Black and the Johnny Walker Double Blacks in that it's spends a lot of time in oak.
Yeah, that is accurate. For some reason, I'm just
Gives
not.
You
no, I'm just not a big.
Matured to perfection in sherry casks. Oh,
I know. This one's gonna. I knew this one was excite you in many ways.
Sherry. I'm a lover of wines. What can I say, sir? So whenever, goodness gracious, though, I do have to ask, was there like an overabundance of sherry production like 12 years ago? Like just every single distillery from every corner of the world has their sherry cask edition. So I have to wonder, like, did sherry have its own Sideways movie like 12 years ago that I didn't know about? Or so.
Now we need to know. Yeah, this one hits the nose nice. It really does.
Oh yeah.
You get
not very much wine, but it's
you get that.
It's not like
I don't want to say grapey, but yeah, I'm gonna go with grapey.
Grape-like.
Okay, grape-like.
Adjacent.
This is one I just.
If you really dig in,
I'm predicting this is going to be your favorite. I don't know why. Just because if I had to pick out of the 3, it'd be my lower of the 3, just on my past experiences. But well,
I'm more of a wine guy than a beer drinker.
I'm willing to give this another go. Here we are. Yep. Not nearly as harsh on the initial flavor. Then you get that smoky, oaky tasting, and then it finishes pretty smoothly.
It's not like wine. It's almost like a plum flavor on your tongue.
Okay. Plum. That's a good way to describe it.
Dang, I do like that.
I knew you would.
Dang, I really do like that.
I had a feeling you would. That one has a lot cooler of a finish.
The nose has none of that solvent smell that this one had.
Yeah.
Sherry cask really either covers up or contributes. It's always kind of a question between those two. What did the sherry cask do? This one I like. I could see myself buying a standalone bottle of this, actually.
Irish whiskey scale?
The sherry cask thing always does kind of hurt it in terms of Irish whiskey purity. Let me give it 3.5.
On an Irish whiskey scale, I'm going to say 3.
Brown spirits.
Ooh. Brown spirit-wise, I think just because it's a bit more complex, 3.5. Yeah, 3.5.
I am torn between 3.75 and 4.
Wow.
I didn't think Bushmills Black was going to impress me that much.
I had a feeling you'd like that one.
We go 3.75.
Okay.
Yes. Now, guess we didn't add. Oh, yeah, we did. Bottom, middle, or top shelf, sir?
Yeah, this is a bottom to a mid. I would probably put it in mid, mostly because I like to display my Irish right there for everybody to see. It's just the staple I like behind me. But again, I only have one main shelf, and I like to brag with the Irish.
Well, there's going to be some updates.
And this would be there.
There'll be some updates to Cass and KOE soon, Tony. That'll make sense. Yeah, need some more water, but we'll get there. This one for me is definitively middle shelf.
Okay.
It's not top shelf. Won't ever touch the bottom shelf. I'll make room in the middle shelf for this one. This is a good middle shelf whiskey. The sherry cask adds to it. Tony and I both work at a mill, so we always kind of ask, like, when they finish it in this cask or that cask, like, are they contributing or are they covering up? This one I feel like they're actually contributing to.
That's fair.
So that is our take on Bushmills Black. And now, Tony, your personal fave of the non-age statement Bushmills.
Yes.
That's probably just a bit too much on the lower.
There you go. You might still have a touch too much there. Your glass is deceptive on its quantity.
Perfect. All right.
All right.
Red Bush.
I don't know. I just love this bottle. I am excited to see your take on this. I think this has the best color, even though they're all very comparable. I think it has the best nose, and I think it has the best taste.
Yes, these bottles will definitely be recycled. Might even use them as like a hand.
Oh, yeah, no, they're a
perfect.
great little bottle. Durable, of course, as you saw earlier.
Yep.
It's got a spicier aroma, a fruitiness.
Matured in bourbon casks.
Yes.
So this is going to have a little bit more of that spice in my opine.
Yes.
Yeah, it does have not floral, but herbal.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Still love the smell of this one. It's a complex smell. It hits you in all the right places with its complexities, if that makes any sense. Spicy in the right way, spicy sweetness. Bon appetit. Yeah. So smooth.
Smooth, but with that characteristic bourbon flair to it, if you will. I don't know what the proper word for it is, but it's Irish whiskey with just garnish of bourbon. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, no, the finish is you still have that Irish whiskey finish, but with, a bourbon overtone.
Yes. Aged 3 years in a bourbon barrel. Not bad. Interesting.
A fruity sweetness. That's the best way I can describe this, and I love that.
I'm not necessarily getting the fruity. I'm getting more like the herbal, like of roots and spices. That's kind of what I'm getting here. I'm getting a slight fruity nose, but not much on the tongue.
Yeah, I'd say it smells a lot fruitier than it actually tastes.
But that's a lot of bourbons.
Yeah.
So. My oh my. This one is interesting. So,
Irish whiskey,
what do you give it, sir?
3.75. Because I could do this neat. I could do this with a splash of water, and I could do this on the rocks, and it's slightly different each way you do it, of course, and it's still good each way you do it because I've had it all three.
I know you're going to hate every time I say this, but this would do better than the other two in cocktails. If you want to mix this, I think
Well,
this
it's
would
just
be
because the bourbon overtone.
Yes, I think that's what makes this
Yeah.
superior for cocktails.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That, I would never want to, waste a precious drop of sherry cask aged spirit in a cocktail when it could just be enjoyed neat. Not that I'm like a wine snob.
No.
I just drink my whiskey out of a wine glass. So, boy, oh boy. Irish whiskey, you gave it 3.75.
Yes. Now, if I was going to introduce somebody to an Irish whiskey and I wanted them to appreciate the flavor of an Irish and still have some of that subtle burn, I would go with this.
Originally I was going to go with 3.5, but then you did point out, it is aged in a bourbon cask. So this would be an excellent point of entry for somebody that that loves bourbon, and they might be a little skeptical on Irish whiskey. This would be an excellent. So that bumps up to 3.75, in my opinion. So we have the
complexities of it, it's a little more diverse.
We have the same score for Irish whiskey, or whiskey.
Whiskey.
Now, brown spirits.
I'm going to go 3.5.
3.5?
Yep.
I think because this is a superior cocktail mixer out of the three, I'm going to have to give it 3.75 again. It's
okay.
This is good. It's decent, but I think this is the superior cocktail maker in my personal opinion.
Okay.
All of them would be great on the rocks, but this one mixed with Coke, mixed with just anything would be better in my opinion. So then the last, top, bottom, or middle shelf, Tony?
I would go upper middle for sure. I wouldn't quite put it on my top shelf unless I had to make room otherwise. But it's a solid middle with room to move up.
I agree. It's going to be on the middle shelf because I got a feeling we would have to make room on our top shelves for some of the Bushmills age statement whiskeys, which
are obviously good. You're
keep your eye out for that.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on that harsh Irish taste. The longer it's aged, the smoother it's going to be. And to be fair, with a splash of water, that harshness you're going to get neat goes away. Like water opens these up so much more because I've drank these a lot neat. I've drank this one specifically on the rocks a lot.
You need to touch more there, sir.
Specifically, actually, this was the bottle I sucked down a big bottle of this one night playing poker at my house on the rocks, cut with water, and it basically goes down like water in that situation. I thought, hey, I won't get that drunk doing this way. Nope, it just made me down the bottle. Specifically, I actually drank a bottle of this, a big bottle of that at our 15-year high school reunion. I sucked that whole bottle down. That was that. So obviously I am partial to these two, but it has been quite a while since I've tried this one again, and I'm glad I gave it another shot because I never tasted it with the splash of water, and that made a massive difference.
I think when we do second takes on these, each of them on the rocks is going to be a necessity. And then this one, I'm going to make a bourbon press out of this one. I think this one could actually work as a bourbon press.
I actually had an idea, something we should try. Since we have all the flavors and the bottles available to us, we should try a 50-50 blend of this with Jameson, a 50-50 blend of this with the double black Jameson, and a 50-50 blend of this with the Caskmate Stout.
We certainly could.
Just an interesting
You
taste.
realize you're going to make people all over Ireland cry
Yes,
doing
I
it.
am.
But, you know, we are here for science.
Indeed.
This is for you, folks. But yes, I do most of my drinking here on the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast with you folks. When I play poker, Tony, I've got 2 rules. Don't fold sets and don't drink. Seems to work out. But
oh, yeah.
ooh, this is not a bad spirit, sir.
Without that splash of water on this, I think you get much more of the fruitiness.
Okay. Certainly get a lot more of the honey on the nose, and the fruitiness is not like you bite an apple.
No.
It's like, imagine like an apple baked into an apple pie, and you
Yes.
just pull the apple out and eat that. That's the kind of, or like a pear or a peach or something like that that's been baked into a pie already. So some of the essence is kind of leached out.
Mhm.
That's the fruitiness that you get there. So, all that being said, I am devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme. This has been our flight of the Bushmills. I am signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partner,
Tony fucking G. Love us some Irish whiskey, some brown spirit, all of the above. Thank you for joining us.
Like, share, subscribe.
Indeed.